What's up, everyone? This is the Great Ninja Podcast, episode number 3. I'm DC, and joining me as my co-host per usual is my best bud, Takoda. What's up, Takoda?
Not much. It's kind of a gloomy Friday, but what else can you do on a Friday other than make a little drive and talk about some anime?
And then get some bomb-ass Chinese food after.
Yeah, I do like the place we're going to.
Yeah, so crazy, but summer season's already here. We just finished the spring season. There's some continuing anime, but not many, to be honest. Most of them stopped.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a lot of new anime for the summer, and honestly, summer's usually pretty weak, in my opinion. But there's some heavy hitters this summer.
I don't know if I'd say anything on my list particularly that I would call a heavy hitter so far. I could be surprised. I do have a decent list of shows I'm going to try, but we'll see if anything comes out on top being super duper cool. So we'll see.
Very elegantly.
There's nothing on my list right now that I'm like, this is going to definitely be my anime of the year from the summer season.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I agree with you there. I'm not saying it's like it's amazing or anything. I'm just saying, like, usually I'll watch backfill episodes of stuff that I've had on my list that I want to catch up on, and like, I don't know, it looks like maybe I might not have a chance to do that this summer.
I'm kind of the opposite, because usually I have a few that are, I'm going to watch this, I'm going to watch this, I'm going to watch this, and it's all going to be good. And I feel like this summer season there's about 10 shows that I'm going to watch the first episode, and we'll see if I watch the second episode. I might not, I might.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, you want to just start things off and talk about what we thought about the spring season?
Spring season was pretty good. I know my list isn't going to be the same as everyone else's list. I had 3 shows that were obviously higher up on my list than any of the other shows that aired in the spring season. I know a lot of people are going to say the new season of My Hero,
Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah, Delicious in Dungeon. Those weren't really on my list, not because I think they're bad shows per se. They're just not necessarily mine.
Konosuba as well.
Yeah.
And the slime anime.
Yeah. So my top 3, not in a specific order as of right now, was Kaiju number 8, Demon Slayer, Windbreaker.
Those are also my top 3.
Yeah, I mean, I've read, obviously, the manga for Demon Slayer's done. I read that, so I was excited for this season. This season was pretty good. The animation was good. The fight choreography was good. Windbreaker, reading the manga for that, it's current. The manga's good. And then Kaiju, reading the manga for that, it's current. The manga's good.
Yeah, the only one of those that I've read any manga for. I've read some Demon Slayer manga. I've only read 4 or 5 issues. Mm-hmm. I really like the manga. I think the manga flows better than the anime. The anime is as much as I love the animation, it's very drawn out. It feels like they put some filler in there.
That's actually a big problem I've been talking about with people. We can get into that now, or we can talk about last season's anime.
Okay.
Would you rather we talk about it now?
Yeah, I mean, we're here. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so like you said, the show is drawn out.
It is.
And as we've recently found out, the last arc per se, Infinity Castle, is going to be turned into 3 movies.
Yeah.
But my problem with that is Infinity Castle is not the last arc. The Sunrise arc is the last arc.
Ah.
Which isn't like 2 or 3 chapters. It's a whole ass 100 chapters. So right now, currently, where we're at in the manga, where the show is ended, is chapter 183.
Okay.
And Infinite Castle, if I remember correctly, goes... Sorry, we're at like 140.
Okay.
Infinite Castle goes to 184 or something like that. 185 to 240 is Sunrise arc.
So do you think that... Now, I know a lot of people had a problem with the way that the manga ended. That it ended very abruptly. And I know there was extenuating circumstances with that. The creator couldn't...
He was rushed.
Yeah, he was rushed. He had to help out his family or something. They were in financial crisis, and he had to finish quickly. Mm-hmm. But... do you think that they have a better ending planned?
No, I don't. I think they're going to end it the same way as the manga.
Okay.
They have stayed on track with the manga.
So how are they going to skip a whole arc? And
I don't think they are. I think they're just kind of dumb and called it all the last arc. But
I
that's
see.
my problem. Is it isn't really necessarily that they didn't call it the right arcs. It's the fact that the first half of the manga was 4 seasons long,
Yeah.
and chapter wise, I mean, the first half of the chapters were 4 seasons long, and the second half is supposed to be 3 movies.
Yeah.
It's like, and they haven't said we're going to do the Infinity arc and then another season for Sunrise, because the Infinity arc is the start of the showdowns from the Hashira and the Upper Moons, and then the lead up to the fight of Muzan. The fight with Muzan doesn't take place till the Sunrise arc.
I figured not, because this seems like the ending right now.
So I don't know what they're going to do. I'm confused. No one really has a clear answer. All of Crunchyroll, like even on their Instagram post when they respond to people, they're like, the Infinite arc is the final arc, and it's just not the final arc. So,
Like, as I knew it wasn't the final, but as I was watching it, I'm like, they're just going to kill Muzan here, and then they're just going to end it. Like, that's honestly what I thought was going to happen.
yeah. But, I mean, with the final episode, the way, I forget her name, the woman that strummed the instrument, and every
the
demon
demon
slayer dropped through the floor.
Yeah.
Zenitsu's intro especially was kind of cold.
Yeah, well,
he's just straight. Because I know what's going on. I've read the manga and I know why he's like that now, and I think we're gonna get a pretty good fight out of him. But just the way they dropped him through and his intro into the castle was pretty cold.
So you know what the letter
Yeah,
said.
I know what the letter said.
Okay, so
I can tell you later if you want, or you can find out.
Watchers don't know. I'd like to find out, because I feel like it's going to be
fine.
a pretty important part.
Pretty important to him.
Yeah.
As the story, not so much,
Sure.
but to him and his personal story, yes, very much so. But
Okay.
yeah, no, it'll be really good. I think we're gonna get a really good fight out of him. We should get six different fights,
Nice.
including Muzan.
Well, if there's one thing that Ufotable does and the Demon Slayer does well, it's fight scenes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this last episode, I mean, it had the internet abuzz. People were talking about it. They're still talking about it. They're like, "Oh my god, it's one of the best anime episodes I've ever watched." I've literally seen people say that.
Yeah, it's Demon Slayer, One Piece, and I can't remember the third, but they have the record for fucking with the servers for Crunchyroll the most times.
Oh wow.
Demon Slayer's number 1. They've done it 3 times now. They've crashed the
God.
servers. They're number 1. One Piece has 2 times, and I can't remember what the third one was. That also has 2 times, and then Bleach has 2 times. Thousand Year Blood War
Okay.
has 2 times. So I think they'll hit 3 with this 3rd season coming out.
Right.
Because each part of Thousand Year Blood War they've crashed it. So I think with part 3 coming out soon, they'll crash again.
Yeah, probably so. Let's talk about my favorite anime of the season by far. Now, I am very biased because it's my favorite manga of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely drawn a lot of buzz.
Mm-hmm.
Kaiju number 8. Not only is it getting everyone into it, but the music was topping the charts. Everyone was listening to Youngblood.
Mm-hmm. Youngblood, and then
Who was the other artist on the outro? There was another one. The outro slapped too.
They were popular in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I want to say the Fray, but it's not the
It's
Fray.
not the Fray.
They did that. I just remember the music video with an alligator in it.
Well, regardless of the music, which slapped in and of itself, the animation was so good. It really did an awesome job of encapsulating like the brotherhood of the defense force that it does in the manga. Because like, I know one of the problems we had with the manga was like, God, there's just so many characters to keep up with. I can't like keep them all straight. I feel like the show is doing a really good job of giving them their own little like backstories and like information that the manga really doesn't give.
Yeah, the show has done a really good job of making them into teams of 2.
Yes.
And focusing a good amount on each of those teams of 2, giving us a background. Because that was my one problem is not only in the manga would they change hairstyles a lot, like their hair would be up, then would be down, but they would wear the masks all the time, and you would just have a glimpse of their face. I'm like, I don't know who the fuck I'm looking at.
Some of them look the same, too.
Yeah,
because they're all drawn similar.
Yeah, and I really liked this season. I liked the fight choreography. The music was good. The story is on pat. I'm actually surprised how far the anime got into the story.
I agree. It's like
I didn't know it was going to get
really
that far.
far.
Yeah, I think it's like volume 7. And there's only 10 out.
Yeah.
So they got pretty far. Windbreaker did the same thing, though. My only complaint with Kaiju is I feel like they said, hey, here's $1 million budget for the art, and they said, we could do it with 700,000. We could dumb it down just a little bit. And I remember talking about this in the first episode. I was like, there's a background character that looks like one of the Cho-Chan characters. And then by like the end of the season, no one has a sharp jaw, no one has a sharp nose. They all have kind of rounded heads, rounded faces. And then we get Nagumi, probably arguably one of the sexiest characters in the manga, and he looks like a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah, I saw you sent that people were complaining about it, and honestly, he had such a short moment in the anime. Yes. I didn't even think about it, but like when I saw the screenshot, I'm like, yeah.
And he's got like spiky Yu-Gi-Oh hair, which he does have at certain points in the manga.
He does,
but his hair is always laid down like Skater Boy Justin Bieber style in the manga,
right?
Unless he's like just been in an intense fight.
Like it spikes out a little bit.
It spikes out, I would say, because he's like jumping and flying so much. It's just blown back naturally.
It's not up like it is in the
anime. It's like styled spiked up like Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah.
Right.
So that was only my that's really my only complaint. I've loved it. I would say that's also my number one this season. And then I'm gonna give Demon Slayer number 3, and I'm gonna give Windbreaker number 2.
So I have it flipped a little bit.
Yeah.
Kaiju's my number 1. Windbreaker is my number 3, and it's close. My only thing with Demon Slayer, and honestly, Windbreaker was above Demon Slayer for me, but this last episode of Demon Slayer really vaulted it high for me. And as much as there was like the kind of filler-ish stuff in the training arc, that last episode really propelled it for me. And Windbreaker I love, but I do feel like towards the end of the season it started to taper off a little bit compared to what that middle of the anime was. So maybe it's more recency bias for me, where I'm like, I got that hard-hitting episode for Demon Slayer, and then Windbreaker was like, you get all the hard-hitting stuff like right in the middle of the season whenever they're fighting on the stage. And then like that shit was so good. That was like some of the best anime I've seen recently. That whole stretch, because not only were they incredibly good fight scenes, but the backstories you get and like the emotion, and like I was not expecting all that.
Yeah, you usually don't expect really, especially this day and age, with a delinquent, anime. And I'm not going to tell you to just wait, but that, like I was saying a minute ago, where the anime from Windbreaker ends is the very end of volume 5 of the manga. Only 6 volumes are out.
Wow.
So like you said, you get that big fight in the middle with the stage. Volume 6 is an all-out gang war.
Okay.
So like at the end of the anime where it shows them walk out of the school and everybody's like, where the fuck are they going?
Yeah.
In the next season, it's volume 6. Okay. It's a fucking gang war.
I love that.
And it gets really, really good. And but I agree. Where that did surprise me how far it got, but the end was kind of, I won't say lackluster, but it went great writing, big fight, great writing. Yeah. And that's what it ended with, was writing.
Right.
So
and I didn't dislike it. I'm just
it
was really good.
Yeah. And
like I love, I can't think of his name, the main character. Sakura, yeah. I should know that.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah.
But Sakura, I love his character development so much, because he comes in just being like, I want to get to the top, and then he realizes like there's way more to this than this, and like he's learning that he can lean on his friends, and like he can help out his friends, and like that stuff's really important. And it's like, man, it's like makes you feel good, like you want to root for him.
Yeah, and that's really how I've been explaining it to people, is I'm like, Windbreaker is Tokyo Revengers without the time travel and the crying main character.
Yeah,
it is what you want Tokyo Revengers to be.
It is.
It is a gang fight show. They're from Furin High School, and it's really, really good.
As much as I like Takemichi, like he ain't got nothing on Sakura.
Dude, Takemichi maybe not. I haven't watched the last season. I watched
of Tokyo Revengers?
Yeah, I watched where
it gets real
the
good,
Christmas episode, like where he fights the older brother, and then he goes to like the Philippines to find Mikey. I haven't watched after that because he came back in time again, and he's in the future. And
you read the manga though, didn't you?
I have read the manga. Okay. Yeah, I'm current on the manga.
So the like not spoilies, but there's like a soft ending to the anime in this last season, I would say. You could end it there and be satisfied, but I know they have more planned.
The ending for the manga is... So English release hasn't finished yet.
Right.
I think volume 17 through 18 just dropped like maybe last week. I went on and I read... That's one of the only manga that I've went on and read the translated version.
Right.
And that's why I think I liked the manga so much better than the show, was because when I got to a spot where I was like, I wish this shit would just move on, I skipped it.
Yeah.
I moved on a little bit. And I would say Tokyo Revengers has one of the happiest everybody wins endings in a manga, especially for the genre. So I think that'll be really good once it finally gets to it. It's just going to be another 5 seasons.
Right.
So...
Yeah, You think they're gonna do 5 seasons? 5 more seasons?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Of Tokyo Revengers.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know, because they do like 30 episode seasons.
I think you get maybe 2 seasons max.
No, because where they're at in the manga is a little bit more than midway. You know, I mean, what are we on now? Well, I guess we're only on like season 3, right? Because they keep doing
season 4.
Well, they keep doing season and then part 2 of the season. So we get like 60 episodes a season.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we might get like 2 more seasons.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I forgot they kind of did it like that. They're one of the only ones that still do 30 episode seasons.
Yeah. Which Windbreaker was only 13 episodes, and that was weird that it was 13.
Demon Slayer was only 8.
Yeah, that was surprising too.
Kaiju was 10. Was it 12?
It was 12.
12?
It was 12. Yeah. See, 12 is like what we've come to expect.
Average, yeah, I mean, long gone are the days of getting a 70 episode, you know.
Well, because studios, there's just so much they're trying to put out.
Well, they've shrinked teams and raised expectancy.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, Naruto, they were doing 51 episode seasons with 100 people on staff. Boruto's doing blah, blah, blah with 26 on staff.
Part of the reason Wit stopped doing Attack on Titan is because they wanted all the stuff out, like, you know,
yearly,
and they're like, no, we got
the other stuff we want to work on. Bro, is it a 10-year hiatus? Yeah. You don't know what yearly means, dude.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so there's some other stuff I watched that I thought was really good, though. I haven't finished it yet, but I've been loving Delicious in Dungeon. I know you haven't watched or continued to watch it.
I didn't care to watch it. It just wasn't interesting to me. I mean, I'm not big on that, like, everything's in the dungeon.
Yeah.
How to find a girlfriend in the dungeon.
So you're not a
get married in the dungeon.
I will say you're not a D&D player though, and this feels very D&D-esque. It's like a love letter to D&D players.
But there is a new show. We'll get to that. That's kind of D&D-esque. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
So.
And then I know you're not a My Hero guy, but there was some good stuff in there. It wasn't the best season still. Like it's ongoing. That's one of the ones that
you know what I heard
supposed to keep going. I
was
think.
Really good about My Hero this year. That they're finally going to wrap it up. 5 more chapters and it's done.
Yeah.
Thank God.
They need to. No, truly they need to. Yeah. They've drawn it out too much. They had a great concept and they've been running it into the ground, which is why I had so many problems with those middle seasons, because it just felt like this doesn't need to be here. And then, you know, it felt like it needed a time jump after like season 2. Mm-hmm. We got like 3 more seasons after that, and now it's on season 7. So
yeah.
But there was some good stuff in there, some good fights, and some good story. And with the Dobby stuff was really good.
Sure it was.
And then I know one you didn't watch, and I've watched a few episodes of this. I'm probably going to finish it soon. Oblivion Battery.
Didn't watch that one.
It is a baseball anime, and I do not typically watch sports anime because I'm a sports guy, and sports animes usually don't get sports right, to be honest. But the good thing about this show is it's comedy first. It's really funny. Like, I actually laughed out loud a few times at this show.
Yeah.
Like, one of the main characters, he loses his memories. And part of that, he has short-term memory loss. So, like, part of that is that part of his brain is shut off, but his funny side is activated. So he forgets all the stuff he learned about playing baseball, and he has to relearn it. But he's funny now, and where before he was dry and like very serious about baseball. So like he just does goofy shit. Like he'll go up to random people and be like, "Nipple hair," and like wave his hands in the air, and they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy?"
Yeah, you didn't just convince me to watch it.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
And then one that I watched a couple episodes of. This is getting into my dropped area. Oblivion. Go Go Loser Ranger.
Mm-hmm. I dropped Go Go Loser Rangers.
It didn't grip me.
I didn't grow up as a big fan of the Power Rangers, so that whole theme of it, and I know they were kind of doing like, I would compare it kind of to The Boys, like the superheroes aren't really superheroes, they're like dickheads.
Right.
I just didn't like the main character, the alien. He just wasn't interesting. He didn't capture me.
That was my problem.
Didn't make me want to root for him.
Right.
Other than he just wants revenge.
Yeah. We've got enough revenge anime. We don't need it in a goofy setting.
I hated it. I started reading the manga too, and I got to volume 5 of the manga.
Yeah.
To just see if it got better, and it didn't.
It didn't.
No.
All right. Well, I know not to continue that one then.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bartender Glass of God. I got like 2 episodes in, and honestly, like it was all right. But there was just other stuff I was watching on my backlog, and I just never like. It's one of those that I might randomly pick up and finish one day. Like it's a decent show. Like it's not terrible. It's not the worst thing I've watched.
I started it, and then I realized it was a sequel anime to a show called Bartender.
Right.
And in the first episode, they talk about a guy who just stormed Europe and took over and won some competitions.
Sequel.
Yeah, and that's what the first season was. And I was like, okay. And I tried to go back and watch the original series, and I didn't like it. So then I went back to season 2, and I watched episode 2. And I went, who am I fooling? I don't give a shit enough to watch an anime about a guy who makes drinks.
And maybe that's me too. I'm just saying I didn't hate it. Like I wouldn't I wouldn't get mad at myself if I went back and watched more.
I would.
You get mad at me too, probably.
I get mad at myself.
And then the one we said we were gonna watch. We picked a random one, and I guess we'll do that this season too. Was the grandpa and grandma turned young again?
Yeah.
I got like 2 episodes in, and I was gonna binge it. I couldn't do it, man.
I added it to my watch list, and I never turned it on.
You're better off. So it is a obviously comedy anime, but the comedy is so cringe, I can't stand it.
How do they turn young again?
They like garden, and they have a golden apple, and they eat it.
Mm.
And it turns them young. And so I thought it was going to be like a Benjamin Button type thing where they're just like aging in reverse, which would have been far more interesting. But it's a comedy, and it's just like, oh, grandpa, well, how did you get so handsome? Like, you're so pretty, grandma. And I'm like, it's like family members talking to him, like, and I'm like, dog, I don't like this family the family edge to this, so I dropped it after 2. I couldn't do it.
You didn't like the whole family thing?
No.
You ever heard of an anime called My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute?
I have not. I mean, I've heard of it, but I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, I didn't. I never even. I'll be honest. I never even turned it on. It's still on my watch list. I'll go remove it today. Actually.
Yeah, you need to. It's terrible. It's one of the worst things I've watched. But again, because like the animation's pretty good. But again, like the jokes it's very like incest, and I'm like, I can't do this. It's not for me.
I got you.
So, what else did you watch?
Last season?
Yeah, I went through my list. What else did you watch?
I think that was really it for new stuff, because I'll try to keep like some older stuff and try to finish it up while I watch new stuff. The only thing I would say that you could possibly consider last season that was new was the new Code Geass Rose of the Recapture. Came out like technically a month before the summer season, but it wasn't spring season. And it's really good if you've watched Code Geass, which have you?
I've only seen a movie, the
Lelouch of the Rebellion.
Lelouch of the Rebellion, yeah.
So Code Geass is not in my top 5, but it is one of the best anime I've ever seen.
I've heard that, but I feel like it's a generational thing, because that, like, I'm not saying like we're that much difference in age, because we're not, but I just feel like I missed it. Like I was watching other stuff whenever that came out, and I know that was like one of the ushers of getting people back into anime, and I was already in it, so I missed that way.
The thing with Code Geass is they did this before Attack on Titan. is by the time you get to the last 2 episodes, you realize the show was going to end this way from the very beginning.
Okay.
And the main character knew it, and he set everything in place for it to end this way.
Okay.
And it is one of the best endings for one of the main characters that I've ever seen in an anime. And it's really, really good. I rewatch it every now and then. Like, probably once a year I rewatch it, because it's only like 30 episodes.
You watch it once a year?
Maybe. It's that good. And it's not just an action, shoot 'em up, mech. It's so well written. The political standpoint of it. Because what it is, essentially, is Britain won the World War. So the world is split up into areas, and there is the United States.
Okay.
But Britain owns Japan, and they call Japan Area 11.
Okay.
And the people are just called 11s.
That's weird.
Like they're slaves. They're second class citizens essentially.
Gotcha.
And they all this one family, basically they run it like a king.
And like Attack on Titan.
Sort of, yes. But the main guy, the dad, has like 36 kids.
Okay.
And they're all by like class. Well, Lelouch is one of those kids and they all get this power. And his is he can say something out loud to you and you believe it. Like, he's kind of like,
wow.
I don't know, I think her name was Whisper. But if he saw you and he was like...
Umbrella Academy, the one chick.
Sort of. Yeah, You know, like, he'll see people and he'll be like, hey, why don't you're going to get out of that mech and give me your mech. And they're like, I'm going to get out of here. He has Jedi mind powers.
Yeah, Jedi mind tricks, yeah.
Or he can make you go, forget the last 24 hours.
It's just like the chick from Umbrella Academy.
Yeah. Well, I forget what she says. I heard a rumor or something.
I heard a rumor, yeah.
And he basically frees Japan.
Okay.
And all of this. And it's so good. And the new show is also good, but I do have one problem with it. Is essentially... Lelouch's plan in motion takes like 14 years from his start till he frees Japan at the very end.
Okay.
Puts a new ruler in place. The new show states that his new ruler only lasted 3 years before Britain took back over and made it Britannia again and Area 11 again. And I'm like, how the fuck did they destroy a whole nation again in 3 years and the rest of the world was like, okay. It's cool.
Yeah, no biggie.
You do you, boo. Because they just take it back over and enslave all these people again.
Okay.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And it only took them 3 years
to
take over another country. And we'll see how it ends. We'll see how it goes. It's only on the 3rd episode. It's good. I'm enjoying it. It's a nice little pastime.
Okay.
I turn it on late at night when I'm like, there's no new episodes I want to watch. I'll watch this. But
speaking of which, I finished Change Soldier just because, like, I got like halfway through it and I was like, this stuff, like, I kind of want to know who these people are that are sending these like baddies out at them and and it's just not very interesting to be honest. I probably won't watch a season 2 of it when it comes out. It did get renewed though.
It did, it did. Yeah, well, the manga's selling very well in Japan.
They just love titties though. I mean, let's
Don't
be
we all?
honest. Yeah, I mean, that's true.
There you go.
Yeah, nothing like some culture, right?
Culture. It's not anime, it's art.
Yeah, it's art.
It's not hentai,
Not
it's hentai.
Art. So, if you had, like, pick a top 3 of the season in order, if you had to, like, recommend to people, or, like, you just say, like, these are my top 3.
From
like,
last season?
Yeah, like, in order, though, in spring.
Oh, I mean, Kaiju, Windbreaker, Demon Slayer.
Yeah, but is that how you rank them?
That's how I rank them, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I do Kaiju,
Demon Slayer,
Windbreaker.
Wow, I'm a magician. How did I know that?
Well, we did talk about it.
We just talked about it.
But I'm just making sure that, like, finalizing it. All right. Well, we'll talk about what's coming in summer 2024. But do you have any, like, so far this year, do you have any, because we're about halfway through the anime season. Like, summer is, like, split up into 2 parts. But what do you think? Like, is there any front runners for anime of the year so far?
My personal opinion, what's best out right now would be Kaiju, number 8. If nothing else banger drops this season, it'll probably be Demon Slayer that wins, based on pure hype and age group that votes on Crunchyroll.
Probably.
Stuff like that.
And your personal...
My personal is Kaiju.
I agree.
My personal prediction that will win would probably be Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
I can't remember if JJK is going to drop another season this year. Because that's how... JJK always sweeps, and the way they always sweep is they'll drop in like November.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's the most foremost thing in your mind.
Recency bias usually gets people.
It always does that. And
there isn't a ton revealed for fall yet.
Not yet, no.
So it'll be interesting to see what comes out, and like those will be the front runners for anime of the year.
Mm-hmm. Like I made, we don't really know everything for fall yet because like I made my list for season, and I think it was 47 new shows coming out for summer season. I literally waited until a week and a half ago because stuff just gets released.
Yeah.
And Crunchyroll will drop some shows that were never.
Yes. It's a weird thing right now because people are getting exclusive rights to shows. Mm-hmm. So like for instance, Disney with Disney/Hulu with Suicide Squad Isekai. Mm-hmm. It dropped like 2 weeks before it was supposed to drop, and the first 3 episodes came out, and they just released them all at once, and they're like, they had exclusive rights to it, so they could just do that. So it's not like it, with those exclusive rights ones, they don't have to release them weekly in Japan. They can do with whatever they want to with them because they own the rights to them. Yeah. So it's a weird landscape right now for seasons, like for seasonal anime, because you just never know what you're going to get when you're going to get it. Like, for instance, I wanted to watch Girls Band Cry. It was a weird animation style, but it was people who watched it, they loved it. Mm-hmm. And it only aired in Japan. It didn't simulcast anywhere. No one picked it up. And so now I just can't watch it.
You can watch it.
If I put on an eye patch and a peg leg.
Ahoy, matey.
Yeah.
You ever heard of a website called LimeWire?
I hear that's where you get all the best viruses, bro.
I can tell you how to piss your wife off. Not gonna be working here.
Yeah.
It'll fuck up the TV on your refrigerator.
Yeah, no doubt. So, what's on your list for summer 2024? I know, like, some of them already came out, and I've watched some of them, you have too. Yeah. But what have you watched, and what are you planning to watch?
So, my list for summer is The Strongest Magician in the Demon Lord's Army Was a Human, which I did watch. Nier Automata Season 2, The Elusive Samurai, Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, Wistoria, Wand and Sword, Monogatari, Series of Monster Season, Dungeon People, Sengoku Yuko, Bye Bye Earth, and No Longer Allowed Another World. And like I said, none of these are anything that I am like, this is going to be a banger show. These are all, like, I took the list, and I took stuff that I looked interesting, and I'm going to try them.
Give them the first couple episodes.
Yeah. So, of that list, what dropped already is The Strongest Magician in the Demon Lord's Army Is a Human. And I think it'll be good. I think it could be interesting, but it's very cringy. Because it's like, it's a high school student, and he's bullied and beat on, and he's a fucking loser. And then, like, they're on a field trip, and then, boom, they all get teleported to this castle. And everybody's like, what's going on? And this big boobied lady comes out, and she's like, I'm blah, 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 blah. You've been teleported here because you're our saviors, and you have to fight the Demon King. Come put your hand upon this orb, and it'll tell us how strong you are.
My orbs are my titties.
Yeah. And so the first kid comes up, and she's like, boop, you're a Class A. Boop, you're a Class B. Boop, oh my God, you're a Class S. And everybody goes, and the bully of the school gets a Class A, and then the preppy jock gets a Class S, and then the girl the main guy likes gets a Class S, and another girl gets Class S, and like, wow, we've never had 3 Class S's in the same turnout. Finally, the main guy goes up, and his doesn't even light up, and they go, oh, you're a Class E, and he goes, well, what does that mean? And she won't even talk to him anymore because he's such a low class, and they like take him down these stairs, and he's like, what are we doing? And she goes, well, in years past, whenever somebody's been a Class E, they would always just slow us down. So now we just sacrifice them instead of even wasting our time. Okay. So he's like, what does that mean? And she's like, we're going to teleport you to a dungeon, and if you survive, we'll see you again. But if you don't, you're out of our way now. Oh. And he's like, are you guys really going to let her sacrifice me? And one girl was like, we can't do this. Like, he's our friend. And they knock her out. And then the other kid's like, hey, man, we're all pretty tired. It'd be pretty cool if you just went ahead and left. Like, you're wasting all of our time. And he's like, I'm wasting your time. I'm going to die. And the dude's like, will you just go already? The girls are pretty tired, too, and we're hungry. So he gets teleported away, and he finds out he has, like, the power of paralysis and poison. And he's like, he starts killing these demons. And he's like, I'm pretty fucking strong. Because even though his stats were low, his... what's the stat that is like your hit?
Oh, stamina?
Like his stamina was maxed.
Okay.
So everything he did was a critical hit, essentially. Okay. So he would hit a monster with poison, kill it. He'd hit a poison paralysis, it'd be stuck for good. And
that would be like his that'd be like his strength.
It's like his mana.
Yeah.
But his mana still goes down, but it's like his attacks are weak, but every attack he does is guaranteed to be 100% effective.
Like a crit.
Yeah. And
that'd be like dexterity.
Yeah, it's dexterity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the one that I was saying was kind of D&D. So I'm gonna give that some time because the cover art for it looks really, really good.
Send that to me because I might actually watch that. That sounds interesting.
Yeah. And then there was another one called Failure Frame. I became the strongest and annihilated everything with low-level spells.
Okay.
And pretty similar. Guy with not a lot of strength, pretty good with spells.
Your typical isekai, like...
Yeah.
Power
Stuff our buddy Morgan would watch.
Yeah. And be like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's a 7.
Dude, have you seen I was reincarnated as a vending machine? It's like 7.6.
Dude, it's not. I've seen it.
I didn't watch 1 or 2 episodes of it.
Like, honestly, it's so stupid, but, like, it is a well-put-together anime. But it's so stupid, I can't get over how stupid it is.
It's getting a season 2?
I know, because, like...
I don't know, dude. And that cracks me up. All the shows we have that never get a season 2.
I know.
And then shit like that.
Well, speaking of what finally got a season 2, been forever since, like, 2020, Tower of God. I didn't hear it on your list.
No, it's not on my list. I never watched the first season.
You never watched the first season?
No, because Tower of God is a manhwa, right?
It is.
So there's not too many
manhwa.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's not too many manhwa that I actually read, outside of like Solo Leveling, Terror Man, a few things. And there's not really a lot of manhwa that I read either, like Apothecary Diaries and stuff like that. It's just not... A lot of it is towards a target audience, and I'm not that target audience.
It is, but I will say Tower of God had a really interesting concept, and I'm a sucker for tower stuff anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Solo Leveling is a tower anime.
It is.
It's a level up anime.
It is, but like the fact that there's like some mystery behind everything, I'm like, I'm very interested in Tower of God season 2. I'm excited to see what they do with it, and also it has one of the most hateable characters in it, and like Rebecca. She's just a huge bitch, and like
I understand that.
And I want to find out more about why she became that way, because like they gave little clues about it at the end of the season 1, and then obviously we've been waiting for forever. So I'm praying they do a recap at the beginning, because I don't want to go back and watch all of it, because not that it wasn't good, it's just I don't have time to sit through and watch a bunch. I just need little reminders about stuff. It's also got a really funny character in it. The lizard guy, he's funny. Yeah, he's funny.
Well, what's your list for this year, for summer?
Well, that one, which it comes out this weekend, I think. Oshinoko Season 2, which the first episode already dropped, and I was very surprised. I felt like it jumped ahead a lot. Like, it's almost where the manga is currently in English. So, like, I don't know if you knew this, but the Japan manga is way ahead of the one.
Oh yeah.
In the stateside, because they weren't sure if it was going to be popular in the States, so they just never translated it. Well, the anime came out and it was a huge success, huge hit. So they like emergency got it out, but like it's way behind of the current. So like where I've read, it's like God, we're like almost right there. So it'd be interesting to see. Like I feel like they could wrap up the whole anime in like 4 seasons easy, because like from what I've heard, the manga is about ready to finish in Japan.
Okay, because it's on what, volume 5 or 6?
So stateside it's volume 6.
Okay,
but
what's in Japan?
I think it's like I think it's like it's way up there.
Gotcha.
Like they already revealed the big secret in Japan, and I've avoided it like the plague somehow. Yeah, I had to leave the subreddit for Oshinoko because people were trying to post spoilers for it, and I almost got it spoiled for me. So, that's like the big part of that show is like the mystery surrounding like who killed I.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Wait, you still don't know who the killer is?
Not after 6 issues. No.
You're talking about dragging it on, Jesus.
No, but it's been revealed in Japan already.
Oh.
So I don't know what issue it was revealed in, but. And then Nier Automata Season 2, like you mentioned, I actually thought the first season, like I was kind of not in love with it, and then the first season ended pretty good. So I'm excited to see what they do with Season 2.
Yeah, the only thing I wasn't in love with was it took that big hiatus in the middle.
Yeah, that
like
hurt
after
it.
2 episodes.
That hurt it.
They did a hiatus for like...
It was COVID.
Like 7 months, like 7 weeks.
Yeah, COVID killed them. Suicide Squad Isekai, I already watched the first episode. The first 3 were out. I really enjoyed the first episode. The animation, you knew it was going to be great because it's Wit Studio, but the animation is so freaking good.
Yeah.
Like, it's a weird concept, and like at the beginning of it, so it just takes place in like comic book land, in DC land, and like it's like normal.
Metropolis?
Yeah, I think it's Gotham. So, because...
is it sunny or raining?
It's not sunny.
It's probably Gotham.
Yeah. So Joker's got this car and he's playing the piano to steer it. He doesn't have a steering wheel. He's playing the piano, and he's playing music, driving the car around. I thought that was a really cool scene.
Yeah.
The opener, and of course Joker's not part of the Suicide Squad, so Harley and Peacemaker and
Boomerang.
No, it's not Captain Boomerang. It's
He's not in it.
No, it's
And the Shark.
The Shark, Clayface.
Is Deadshot in it?
Deadshot, that's the other one. Those are the ones. And there's a portal that opens up out of nowhere to another world. And they're like, yeah, we don't know what the hell's going on with this, so we're going to send you guys in to figure it out. And, you got a bomb in your neck so we can remotely detonate it because we can see you through the portal. And the classic Suicide Squad stuff. And they get there and it's like it's like knights and magic, and there's already like a power system that's there and established, and it's gonna be interesting. I really, really loved season 1, and like Peacemaker is great in it too. So
You'll have to tell me about it.
I will.
Okay.
I will. It's really good. I wish you would watch it. And then I was also interested in Bye Bye Earth.
Yeah,
I thought that looked good.
Yeah. Well, the stills I've seen of it look pretty good.
Yeah, same. That's what I'm saying. So that comes out in like 2 weeks.
Everything comes out pretty quickly in July.
It does.
It's like July 1st through the 14th.
Yeah.
Like everything releases.
Yeah.
And then there's a few things like on the 27th.
Yeah. So like I said, the heavy hitters for me are Oshinoko Season 2, and of course it's the tops of the ads on summer. Tower of God Season 2, which is like 3rd, and then Nier Automata Season 2, which not a lot of people added it. It's like 6th or 7th on the list. So
yeah,
it's weird because I feel like it has a cult following though.
Yeah, well the game does.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I mean, Persona 5 has a huge anime following that doesn't go over to the game.
Yeah,
It doesn't always translate well.
No, that's true.
And I don't mean that as in like an actual translation. I mean like from one to the other,
And
like,
ads aren't necessarily watches. We've seen that in the past.
Yeah, I mean, it's like DC, huge following. Obviously, it's one of the 2 biggest comic book industries.
Yeah.
They're not going to all watch the anime.
No,
you know
it's
what I
like,
mean? It just
it's like
doesn't always
6th or
transfer
7th.
over. Yeah. It doesn't always transfer over.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's summer. I mean, like I said, I think there's some really good stuff that looks like it's coming out, and I've already, like, Oshinoko Season 2 is already good, Suicide Squad's already good, so I know I'm going to be happy this season. And there's some potential with some other ones, so I think it'll be, it's one of the better summers I can remember for anime. Like, mostly, there's, like, 1 or 2 that I'm, like, halfway interested in, and I just don't care about them after the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
But I just think anime is so saturated right now that like we're gonna by default get some good stuff in every season.
Yeah, there's just everything's getting animated now.
Yeah,
Because
everything.
there's so many studios. I mean, there are smaller studios, but
Yeah.
if you've got a manga, there's a pretty good chance. If it's a decent selling manga, it'll get picked up as an anime.
Yep.
So speaking of manga, what are you reading right now? What's your ongoing stuff?
So I'm just about finished with Solo Leveling number 6.
Oh, I'll have to show you this Jinwoo statue I got in the car.
Oh, you got a Jinwoo
I
statue?
got it at GameStop yesterday.
I might have to get one. Dude, I love Jinwoo. What a great character.
Oh, and when we go to the restaurant, I got a pack. This is off subject. On the wall, a single pack of the Cyberpunk trading card.
Oh yeah.
Packs.
Yeah.
Just a single pack. I looked everywhere, it wasn't anymore, and I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll pull it. We'll see.
See, get some pulls. All right.
Yeah, we'll open it up when we get to the restaurant.
It's like they're like stills. It's not like the card game. It's
yeah,
like
but it'd still be something cool to get
scenes.
signed or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if it was a card game, I wouldn't play with them. So
right.
I get them just for that rush of gambling.
For sure.
That's the only reason I rip packs.
Dude, I love to crack packs. It's very addictive.
What else you reading?
I also am reading Initial D.
Yeah, Omnibus 2 just dropped.
Yeah, I'll pick that up soon. I'm probably about fourth way through the first omnibus.
Don't be in a huge rush. It's only 2 volumes per book, and it's like it's coming out like every 3 months. So
that's why I'm not.
Don't be in a huge rush.
Yeah, and then what else was I reading? I think I just finished something. Oh well, I finished the latest issue of Oshinoko and Chainsaw Man that dropped
a
few weeks ago. Yeah. And Kaiju. So. I'm always current on those 3. Those are the 3 currents that I keep up with. So,
gotcha.
Yeah. I want to read Don
Don.
Don
Don's really good
because it's coming out. It's getting animated.
Yeah. Don's good if you get into it. If you don't like it by the first volume, you're not gonna like it.
So I'll pick up issue 1.
Yeah, pick up issue 1. My list is a little longer because I read a lot of manga.
Yeah, you do.
So I'll just go in alphabetical order of what's going on. Right now I'm reading Black Clover. Blue Wolves of Mabu, which is still okay. Boruto, Call of the Night, Chain Soldier, Chainsaw Man, Fable, which is still pretty good.
Okay.
Free Run, which it's kind of on hiatus right now. Gachagata, which is good. Gokuragu, which is also good. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not. Initial D, Kaiju number 8, One Punch Man. Let me keep going down my list. Sakamoto Days, Shangri-La Frontier, Solo Leveling, and Tree of Death, Windbreaker, and a new one, Zom 100. Another new one is Yokohama Station.
Okay.
Which, I don't know if you've seen that show, Silo.
No.
It's basically like End of the World, except they're all living in a subway station and all that. And then actually one that I was surprised, and I had watched the anime for this years ago called To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts. And it is about this military that takes this group of soldiers, basically makes them all Spartans. But instead of Spartans, they're mythological beasts. One guy gets turned into like an ogre, a troll, a werewolf, whatever. Well, the main 2 guys, one's a werewolf, one's basically Dracula.
Okay.
So after they win the war, blah, 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 Dracula turns on the werewolf because werewolf's a good guy.
Yeah.
Thinks he kills him. He doesn't. And he tells all the other ones, you can either follow me or I'll kill you. So a few of them he kills right then because they're loyal. A few of them run. A few of them run, and then some of them are with him now. So the werewolf comes back. He's found by like a farmer's daughter. It's a whole Luke Bryan song. And he comes back, and the lady that ran the program was the girl the werewolf was in love with. Dracula shoots her in the fucking face, kills her. And basically, it's all the abandoned beasts that have been... He's finding some, and they're like terrorizing villages now. And they're not on purpose, but it's like this dude's a fucking 30-foot troll. He can't help it.
Yeah.
And the show only goes into like volume 8 of the manga. And the show never got picked up for season 2. So I started reading the manga, and the manga got all the way to volume 14, and that was like 2019. Volume 15 just dropped like 3 weeks ago, and I picked it up, and it was like I never missed a beat after 8 years.
Okay.
So
good.
Added that back to my list. I'm reading that. So I got a ton, and fortunately enough, even with my list being that long, it's still only like 4 books a month. So
okay.
I've been fortunate enough to where like even right now there's every other few weeks no new books. So
Yeah, well, there's some other stuff that I thought looked interesting that I kind of wanted to pick up. I can't remember the name of it, but it had a cool cover. It's like Gear something another.
Air Gear? Or Earhart? Or no.
Gearhart.
Gearhart, yeah. It's like the blue cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like 3 issues out, or 3 collections out.
It makes me think of Air Gear, which is an old
Yeah.
90s manga, but yeah, I've seen that too.
It got a little hype on the internet. So,
did it?
Yeah, it did. So I'm maybe going to pick that up. Is there anything you're looking forward to the rest of the year, anime, manga-wise, like that has been announced? Like I said, Dan Dadan.
I'm waiting for that one. Kagurachi? Fuck, what's it called?
I don't know.
I think it's called Kagurachi. I don't know. It's a manga that hasn't been translated yet, but it's supposed to be really, really good.
Okay.
So that's really it. There's not any anime I'm looking forward to. 1,000 Year Blood War Part 3 coming. That's about it. A few things here and there. You know, we got another Trigun coming at the end of the year probably.
Yeah, that was just announced. That's awesome.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
Studio Orange again.
Studio Orange, yeah. So.
They've done some great stuff. If I'm looking here, like some of the stuff that was announced for the fall season, because everything's already been announced for the spring season, or for the summer season, we already talked about those.
Kagurabachi.
Okay, yeah.
It's a Shonen Jump.
Yeah. Yeah, usually if it's in Shonen Jump, it's probably going to get picked up. Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, they did the ReZero stuff. Blue Lock Season 2.
Dan the Dan.
Yeah.
Shangri-La Frontier Season 2.
Is it wrong to pick up Girls in a Dungeon?
I forgot about that. Sword Art Online, Gun Gale Online 2.
Wow.
I'm a big Sword Art fan.
Yeah, I know you are.
Morgan will like it too.
I'm really excited for Shangri-La Season 2. I didn't know that was going to be in the fall. That's awesome.
Are you caught up with the manga?
No, I haven't read the manga.
Volume 12 just dropped.
Is it really good?
Yeah, I mean, it's as good as it's been.
Okay, cool. Actually, there's a lot of stuff that got announced for fall already.
Uh-huh.
Wow. I did not realize there were so many.
I didn't realize this was as long either.
Yeah. I will have to go through that and look at it later.
We'll have to cut out this part where we're all oblivious.
And then there's already stuff announced for winter as well.
Sakamoto Days.
The 100 Girlfriends anime. Sakamoto Days. I'm going to start reading that. I've got the first 3 issues on my shelf. I haven't picked it up yet. I was going to wait a little bit until the season started. But if it's going to be in winter, I'll probably start reading it here soon.
Yeah.
I heard it's really, really good. So, yeah. So, yeah. No, it's we got some good stuff coming. Honey Lemon Soda, I've heard really good stuff about. That's coming out in December as well.
Yep.
Yeah, just some good stuff.
And then outside of anime, we've got a few cons coming up this year, so...
Yes, we do. We're going to Animate Columbus in a couple weeks.
Animate Columbus, GalaxyCon Columbus.
Yeah. Cincy, Comic
Cincy.
Expo.
I'll be going to Huntington for a weekend.
I'm thinking about that one, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah. Fanboy Expo is also coming up. We'll see about that one.
We have just not heard from them, so who knows?
I got a response now.
Yeah. Which is very weird because it's pretty soon. It's in July.
Yeah, it's in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So
hopefully we'll get press for that, but we're already approved for press for GalaxyCon Columbus
and Animate.
So we'll be there for those. Animate. There's a lot of voice actors there. Really excited to meet some of them. So yeah, come look us up. Come check us out.
Just watch the socials.
Yeah, watch the socials. Come say hey. We'll maybe we'll do some giveaways and stuff under this moniker, the Great Ninja Podcast.
Sounds like Dustin's gonna be doing some giveaways.
Sounds like I'm doing some giveaways.
Well,
all right. Well, I think that's all for today. All for this episode. 3 episodes in the book. We're halfway through the year.
1 more for the year.
1 more for the year. Should be good. No, 2 more for the year because we'll have winter.
We'll do winter at the beginning of next year.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so, yeah, 1 more for the year. Yeah, I guess that's true. So, yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later.